So hey everyone, happy to see you again in live session. So please let me know in the chat, can you hear and see well? So can you hear and see? Okay. Hopefully it's, if not, hopefully it's not related with myself, you know. But still, it'd be nice if you can hear and see well. Let me know in the chat, please. And we'll start shortly. By the way, again, this time I was so gracious and gave you a template again. So yes, I said that you should finish the last time's template because I didn't have homework, right? So please take the template from the description and also post it in the chat, make it workable, or you can use your own template. It actually would be preferable. If you use your own template and do not update the templates when I give them before each session, that would be really good. So that would be your code. You can keep extending it, playing with it, and not being interrupted with my updates. So that would be great. But please use my template if you want. If not, you can use the existing template. So that's the plan. So today the plan is to finally finish the relational database, the hierarchy of pages, at least to some extent. So this is the relational database structure, and we're gonna we're gonna talk more about that. We can by the end of today's tutorial, we'll also start constructing the tags. So for each post, you can have multiple tags or none of the tags, and will be really interesting to hear your thoughts and see how we can proceed with that, and then that will be your homework. And yeah, so we will keep extending it step by step. It will become more and more complete website. So now if I go to the code, okay, so this is the code. So again, first of all, we can run it, right? We can run from the main, run the main code. It generates the localhost 8000. Then I should be able to open localhost 8000, and it should look by default something like this, right? Okay, so just to make sure that in the beginning you catch up, we'll ask in the chat, is template 8 running? Plus minus, if you're running your own code, that's fine. It's just that it'd be also good if you copy the template, so if there are some parts of the code which are not exactly yours, you can copy some of the code to make it work faster, you know, like otherwise you will need to write some lines. Okay, I see one guy saying plus. Let's see what Evers is doing. So not great that others are not joining today. I know that at least one person wrote me that she was sick. I hope that others will look at this later and join. Okay, so great. Okay, so yeah, let's then go back to the code. And last time we got stuck with the population of the dropdown for the editor, where we wanted to create this tree structure. And so what I did, I added here additional field called depth. So maybe I should drop this to the Jamboard so you know that what I added. So this is the depth, and I removed the parent node. I think I was thinking that that's not so that's not that important. If you want, you can put it back. So that is that. And then here in the controller posts, we need to have the post parent ID and title, and here we have only none and no parent. So this is actually what we want in this list is a data for select box, right? And this data should look something like this. So we have this first parent, right? No parent, and then the next one will be, let's say, post 1, and this will be the blog, right? And then there will be, might be some kind of sub item here, which will be marked by this minus sign. This will be, let's say, blog about pets, and then comma another, which will be the new top section. This will be, let's say, 3, and this will be videos. So something like that. And of course you can have more substructures, right? So this is what we want. And to achieve this, I created this function get all posts flattened. So it means that I don't want to get the situation which I have right now, where I have the so what I have is basically a list of post objects, right? Right now I have something like that: post 1, post 2. So if you have only 2 posts, right? And then inside this guy there is a children posts, which contains another post, and maybe that post again contains another post. And this is not a convenient structure to display as the, like as the list. So that's why we need to create something like this. So let me annotate that also to the Jamboard. So we don't want the first one, we want the second one structure. So for the first structure, it might be also useful in other cases, where we just want to get the top posts and then do something specific regarding the top post. So the structure as itself is not bad, it's just not useful here. So then the get all posts. So now I go into controller database, get all posts function. That will be the first function we need to write. So there is the parent ID, then I get the hierarchy with posts. Now I just drop it in here. We need to change that. Again, I'm going to do this with a while loop. You can do it in many different ways, and of course you can do it with recursion. So if you would like to do this with recursion, then this would be something like if you have here another function. So it will be like iterate. Do not write this, but I just will show you children, and here will be let's say some kind of post and then pointer to this list. So of course if I just would pass, so this will then call itself. So for the children's it will call this function itself. So and then I would do something like, like for each of these I would iterate through. So if there is this post hierarchy, I don't know, like from the first one, and then I would pass the pointer to the list, and I don't need to return anything, right? Because anytime when I modify the list inside this function, this is a pointer here, and it will just modify the list itself. So if I add elements inside this function, it will keep working. And then I can have like here inside for child in children, right? In post children, then I would call again child with this same list, right? So this is the recursion method. Maybe I should even show you that if it's not clear. So maybe we could do this with 2 methods to show you how you can do this. Okay, so let me see. The chat is again spamming robots. So how can I delete those bad posts? Report. Okay, cool. So let's then do this in 2 ways. So I decided maybe we should also try out the recursion method. So first let's do it without recursion. So again, like with many algorithms, there are different ways how to implement it. Some are more efficient, some are less efficient. Usually the recursion can be easily replaced by the most likely like while loops, right? And this time we can try to do that. So okay, so let's see. So if I have the post hierarchy, then I want to have the depth by post ID, because remember I have each of the posts, I have also information regarding the depth, and I want some kind of tracking information regarding what is my depth. Maybe I even don't need that. Okay, let's try not to use that. It's a little bit tricky, but let's try to not use it. Okay, so let's not use that one, but we will still get the depth, no worries. So then len post hierarchy, this will be what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove elements from this part. Again, still some kind of stupid messages. Oh no. I accidentally pressed something, just a second. So we're gonna remove posts from the post hierarchy, process them, and put them into the post flatten. That's why it works. So if there is any unprocessed posts, we're gonna use them, all right? So then let's see. So let's start by getting posts in the order as they were added, or by the order index. So what's added there. So we'll write let's say post current, and this will be the post hierarchy pop. And then if I just say pop, it means remove the last element and return it to the pointer. But I want to have it like remove the first element and return to the variable here. So this will be that. Then what we can do next is, so there is the depth variable. We can add the depth +1. So if that would be 0, it will be then added to this right. So then we have another small issue. If I don't have a separate variable to store the depth, which I didn't want to have, then I need to access the parent. Okay, no problem. So we can do that. Okay, but let's stick with the base hierarchy, so base structure, so you understand. So first of all, we remove the one post from the hierarchy. We are processing it now, and then after we're done processing, we want to add the childrens to the hierarchy. So what I mean by that is post hierarchy equals post current children posts plus. So the plus sign here means the concat. So in Python, lists are concatenated using the plus sign, which is very counterintuitive, but needs to be understood. So post hierarchy, so this means concat. So now I'm loading in the next candidates for processing, right? So that is that, and then at the end we could have posts flattened, append the post current, right? So we're adding the current post here. So far so good. So this is the base structure. In this manner, we're gonna go through every single post in the hierarchy. So this very basic structure allows to go to all posts. But now we need to deal with some extra things. So the main extra thing is calculating the depth. So there are ways how to do that. So first of all, we're adding just the depth of 1 for any post. So maybe we should leave it as 0 for the posts which are in the root order. So we could do that actually. If post current parent ID is none, then we will not touch it. Is not none, so then we will add it to the depth. So that's one. And the other thing is that we know that the parent exists, so that means that we can find the depth of the parent and add it as well. So depth, and here we're going to use really neat trick, at least I will try to use it. So I need to find the first occurrence of where the parent was what we need by the parent ID. So what we could do, so next iter, and then here we can write for it iterator in posts flatten, which are the ones who are already processed. Posts. By the way, of course, you can create it in different manner as well, but this is my take. Okay, so I need actually also here it post flatten if it post id equals the current parent post id, and if there is no such element, then it will just generate error, which is not good. But there should be that element. It cannot be that there is no such element. Also notice that I did not use the square brackets. If I start using the square brackets, it means that it will not be the iterator. It will first create a list and then it will go through the iterator. So this is again something a little bit tricky in Python. There is a thing called iterator, and there's those get next item and so on. It means that I don't need to know the whole list from very beginning. So this is the case. So that is that. But then there is an additional thing, exclude branch posts. So the reason why I want to exclude posts is that I don't want to create loops. If I, for example, if I have a situation where I edit some post and I don't want to link it to itself, right? It will be really bad if I will link it to itself, or to link it with some of the child posts. So to avoid that, let's add some small rule here. So this will be so basically if post current post id equals exclude post, then I want, it could be also more posts, but let's say one, just then we just continue. So we'll skip that, skip the whole branch with all of the children's, everything, skip that. So that is the function. I will add this to the Jamboard and we'll check it if it actually works. I have not yet tested it. So this will be on this slide number 3. Maybe there is some bug, we'll see. So if I run debug, so I added that on slide number 3. I run it. Hopefully it works, I'm not sure. Yeah, it works, I guess, because in here in the home page I now see the video travel DIY. So I had those posts in, you know, like under the parents. So that seems to be working, I hope. We could double check actually. I could add the breakpoint here and check the depth. So let me see, I added the breakpoint, refresh the page, go in the console, write posts flattened. So we could check the depth. So how it would be is IT for IT in this one. Let me see, and we could add here the depth. What happened? What happened? What happened? Oh, right, I have a bug. It created some kind of super strange structure in Python. So my bug is following. I actually selected here in this line, not the depth itself, but I selected the parent, of course. So this will be post parent, right? With this iterator syntax. Of course, you can write the same thing just with the basic for loop and so like with a temporary variable. This is no problem writing it any other way. So that is that. And then here I just wanted to add actually not equals but plus post depth like that. So I want to populate the depth value from the parent and it will trickle down to all of the child elements. So this is the correct syntax. Let me see if now the depth is looking good or not. Let's see, refresh, console, post. Oh. Okay, so you see 0, 1, 1, 0. It seems to be working fine. Of course, we'll need to test it, what happens when you do the deeper depth, but it seems to be working fine. Okay, so let's wait for you to catch up. If there's any questions with regards to this code, let me know. So is this code done plus minus, let me know in the chat. If somebody is done with this code, you can try to write it using the you know, like the recursion method. So you could try to do that, and then share the code maybe in some paste bin or somewhere in the WhatsApp group or Telegram group. But yeah, please first of all indicate that you're done with this part, and then we'll move on to the editor. So there is still missing the form editor, right, where we actually want to edit the parent, right, and then also in the home page how we want to display it. So those things are still missing. Okay, let's see. So let's wait a little bit. If something not clear, definitely ask. Okay, I see that we're done with that, so that's great. I don't see any questions though. Anyway, maybe somebody can implement quickly the recursive method and share. Okay, so that's that. Let's go then to the editor part. So here, again, this is what we want. Right now we don't have it. So to make it happen to look like what we want, right? So let's go through this one. So there will be the for. So this will be the, let's say, post current, again the same way as before. Oh no, not this one, but this one, post flatten. Oh, what is this, post flatten? Okay, so we're going through all of those existing posts, right? And what we want to do is to add some kind of string indent, which will be by default nothing, and then if post current, then parent or post ID equals is not none, or maybe maybe easier just write if the depth equal is, so if the depth is larger than 0, then what I want to do is I want to add those minus signs, right? And to construct the minus signs, again, many ways how to do that. The easiest way, in my opinion, is this. So you know that, again, this is the funny Python syntax. If I have a list and then I have a multiplication sign, that does not mean multiply by something. That means only in NumPy multiply by something. As for the list, it means repeat list n times. So I want to say repeat my list till post current depth size. So it means that if I will have these deeper level pages, I will have this nice prefix, or maybe I should call it actually prefix like that, right? So we'll be having this, and then at the end maybe I want a space as well, like that. Okay, so this is this, then post parent ID and title, append, and here I want to of course list, so there will be post current post ID comma f string with the prefix. Oh no, what is this? Prefix, and then the actual name of the post. So post current post, where's the name? Title, right, title. Okay, so this will result in what we need, but it doesn't guarantee now okay, it does guarantee. So here there's exclude branch, and it excludes the actual post ID, so we cannot link it back to itself. So it seems to be hopefully working. If I add here a breakpoint, run it, and then I need to go to the edit page. So from the home page, I need to press the edit button to any of the existing pages. So this was other breakpoint. So let's see. So if I try to edit some post here, I will get this post and parent title structure. And this structure, you see, no parent, blogs, video, and then underscore DIY and about me. So the other underscore is not existing because right now I'm myself in the other one. Okay, so that seems to be working. So I will drop this to the Jamboard as well, these few lines. Again, there is a small challenge. If somebody can give me the recursive method, maybe if somebody wants to show that he is really good at this, you can build the recursive method for the finding the depth. That would be really cool. Okay, so I added this to the Jamboard. Okay, so then the next thing is I need to add the actual select box, right? So the drop-down box in the editor. So then I go to posts edit here, and in this post edit form, I have the URL slug, the body, and so on. And here let's add label. This will be the parent, and then or maybe let's call it page parent or whatever. Parent, and then there will be the select. So the select HTML element means Dropbox. So that's quite important element actually. So the select element, and then let's write here the name, and this will be the same as in the post. So parent post ID, right? Again, remember, names very important. Names are the ones which gets posted to the backend, right? If you add here ID, this is something very useful for the front end, the styling, JavaScript, so on. If I want to send the data to the backend, we need to use the name. So the name is then the parent post ID. And then now we need to list the options. So to list the options, we can use something very similar that we have in the home page. This structure, so this is a Ninja templating system, right? So it's not a Python, it's just some kind of strange scripting language. So so this will be then the, what was the, so let's call it item in post parent. Okay, I need to copy actually that from, it's too long. Post parent ID and title. Post parent ID and title. Again, if you use Ninja for statement, then you need to use Ninja and for. So this one. Again, very funny syntax, nothing to do, so unfortunately need to be used. So then option in select elements, those options which you can choose are called options, right? And then here there are the values. So the value is not visible to the user. Those are hidden information. So the hidden information will be actually the post ID, right? So this will be item, and the first in the tuple is the is actually that first in the tuple is the value, is the post ID. Okay, so that is that, and then here we can close it and write the actual name of the value, right? This will be the second one. And now the last thing is that we want also to select by default the one which is used for this particular option. And the way to do that, again, not very nice way to do that, but it's possible. So to do this is we need to use again these Ninja syntaxes. If post, and here the parent post ID. No, I wanted to copy this one. Equals. So at least the equal sign is like in Python. So this one, like that. And then we need to use again the close stuff here. And if, seems almost like some kind of Pascal language or basic. So something like that. And then here we need to use the HTML attribute. So we can write here selected equals true, or selected, doesn't matter actually. Maybe you can write it like that, or true. But it actually doesn't matter. You could just add just selected even without the actual value. It will still work. The kind of, again, it's better to add it actually with the value, because then it's a valid XML. Otherwise the browsers are smart enough to deal with all sorts of missing tag information, missing attribute information as well. So let's add this to the slide number 4, how to do this template. And now I will test it on my end. Is it actually working? Okay, sorry, there's a breakpoint. Seems to be working. Okay, we'll show you how it looks like. So now here we have the page parent. It says that travel parent is videos, and we can change it. So we can maybe change it or create a new one. So let's try to create a new one, add a new post. Oh, what is this? Add a new post, and then there is some kind of not cool stuff happening. Controller posts 21 line. Okay, so there is a small bug for me. 21 line. Oh, seriously. Okay. Else post ID equals 0. So if the post ID is none, then or maybe we should just use it as 0 here. So please change the default value to the 0, not none here, and then it will work for creating a new post. So I will drop this also to the Jamboard. And debug again. Okay, now it works. Oh, sorry, I did not share the screen. Sorry. Let me show you what I changed. So here in the post edit, I added post ID equals 0, not post ID equals none. That was my change. I added also to the Jamboard. So now if I go back here, if I create, so I had a DIY, I had a travel, let's add the work. So this will be the work type of videos. So I add the videos as my, again, maybe I should share the full screen so you see these tags. So set here I have, you see I can choose which is my parent, right? I say videos is my parent here. Then I press save. I get this one working nicely. And then if I press edit, then I don't see itself, because of course that is you know, like I cannot add it to myself. And now if I go here and I don't see work, that's funny. There's definitely some bug here. Now I go here and I see work in the body tag, so there is a bug. If I set and the no parent as well, so I think there is 2 bugs. So videos, save. Now it is good. Edit, no parent still. So there are a few bugs. Let's try to find them. Okay, so first of all, why the body tag was changed and not the title. So post title. Okay, first bug here, we actually don't store the parent. Of course, the parent is not added because we are not storing it at all. So okay, let's try to store it. So try post parent post ID, then equals the integer value of the request, because again, this is something you need to understand. Any value that is coming from the web page is always a string. So even if you want an integer value, you need to cast it specifically. So this will be post parent, except, and here if this is not convertible, basically it means that there is no value there. I will say that there is no parent there. So let's add this one as well to our Jamboard. Where was the Jamboard? Right. So this is bug number 1. The bug number 2 is something related that when I insert post, it does not add correctly stuff. So yeah, you see there is another bug. Title and body is in the wrong order here for the insert method. Okay, so let's fix that bug as well. Again, I think I took this code from some of you, so this syntax is also a very nasty syntax. Please do not write the code in this way. So instead use comma like that. So if you use the tuples, if you have the tuples, then we don't write something like that. It's confuse you to being like an array or something. So tuples usually are not long. So tuples have only few elements, and if you have few elements, then better decode them using the comma syntax. So let's say, so here is the change and here is the change. So these were the few bugs here. Come on. Okay, so this is this. And now let's see if it works. Yeah, let's see if it works now. I added all of this stuff to the Jamboard as well. So the work I want to add under the videos, press save, go to the work, and it's saved. So that's great. Now it's working nicely. Okay, so then the last thing is that the homepage structure is not reflecting the actual tree structure, right? But before doing that, let's ask the question in the chat. Is the post editing using the page parent working for you? So is post editing using page parent working for you? Plus, minus, if you say there's something not working, let me know. Okay, that's excellent. You two are doing a good job. It'd be even better if you can share the recursive method. Okay, so maybe I can add that actually as a homework. That would be cool if you can build it. So the recursive method, I mean, there is no while loop for generating the hierarchy as a flattened structure. Okay, so let's move on to the actually what's necessary to display the tree structure in the home page as well. So to display the tree structure in home page, we go to the home page here, and we know that we have the depth, right? We have the depth value. We have the depth value, that's good. So this is a table, but in order to at least somehow display some meaningful way of the tree structure, my proposal is very simple, just editing the table here a little bit. So what I mean by that is here we could write the style, and usually it's not good idea to write inline styles, but in some very outline cases it is useful, and this is one of those cases. So padding left, and here let's say there will be 100 multiplied, I mean not like that, but like this, 100 multiplied by the so this is a post dot depth, like that. I think it should work. Depth, and then pixel. Of course, these it says that something is not right with the syntax because the HTML editor do not understand that this is a Ninja syntax with those brackets, right? So it will replace that value with actual value later. So now if I refresh the page, let me see if it works. Okay, not 100, 100 is too much, I think. Let's say 50. Yeah, 50 is fine. So now if I refresh the page, I get something like this. So see, I have that those pages which are under another page are displayed very nicely. And of course you can have even third level, right? It's not only 2-level structure, you can have even more levels in your structure of your page. So this is this, so I'm adding this also to the Jamboard. Okay. So this is added, and now we could okay, so let me ask in the chat, is page structure visible in home page, plus minus? Okay, we're done, so that's great. Okay, so now let's move on to the next phase. So to introduce the next phase regarding the relational databases and tags, so my proposal is to write in Mermaid script the UML diagrams. Again, this, like for the data scientists, LaTeX is super important. Need to know how to write LaTeX code. Then also here for the programmers and the for the developers and the planners, it's super important to know how to write the UML. And one of the ways how to do that, the easiest is using the Mermaid. So you would write it something like this. And so there is a nice editor available here. It's called Mermaid Live, but you could use it also in other platforms like Typora and so on. So here, let's create a class diagram. Maybe I should make it a little bigger. So the class diagram, and what we have here is the posts. Oh no, class posts. So this is our class. And here for our class, we have post ID, right? And let's display the first relational stuff what we have here. So we have post ID, and then we have the parent post ID, which is the foreign key. And then we have all of the other stuff, right? The title, which is the varchar something, I don't know, like 100 or so on. Then we have the body, which is the text, and so on, right? So we have those variables. And here, the main thing with UML diagrams is that we need to have some kind of meaningful connection between the structures. So the meaningful connection to structures is one of the important things. So again, these stupid bots are attacking our chat again. This is crazy. So the YouTube knows how to eliminate content that they don't like, but they don't know how to eliminate the bots. That's crazy. Anyway, so let's see. So there will be the posts, and here we'll have the linkage with another posts. So you can. I encourage you to try out this anyway. So try to create the structure yourself. So posts, and then here let's add some comment. So this will be one-to-one structure, one-to-one. So we have this one. So that's great. Then the new stuff what will happen is the tags. So tags, we'll have the tag ID as our primary key, right? Oh, except class tag ID, like that. And then we'll have the, let's say, you could have it like just tag or title, or I don't know, like let's call it just, I don't know. Okay, let's call it label, so at least we have a little bit different stuff here. Var, char, let's say something like 50 characters or so. So we have the posts and tags, and each post can have like one to n tags. So my question in the chat is how to construct in database relationship between posts and tags with 1 to n. So how to construct relationship between posts and tags 1 to n. How to do that? Did anyone have ideas? If you maybe you can even share your own created Mermaid diagram. So I think you can just copy the link up here, and then if you use that link, as far as I remember, you can directly get the diagram itself. It's encoded in URL. Yeah, it is encoded, so it's super easy to share. So you can share the diagram, or you can write in the chat how to do that. If you don't know how to do that, please write minus so I don't wait. So let's wait. Great, I have some engagement. Add post ID field to tags. Okay, but then it will be 1 to 1. I will have the reference to the tag, but I will not have the option to use the same tag twice for example, for different posts, right? And also, yeah, so I think the main problem here would be that I will have two posts with the same tag. How then I will do that? Will I create just a copy of the tags? That would be not smart. But I really appreciate that you're trying to think, but you don't have any other ideas? Like, so please, I'm still waiting in the chat. If I don't get any ideas, then I will tell you. So I think Everett's done this a lot, so I think at least he should know, but let's wait. Okay, I appreciate at least that I get right, but this is really, yeah, this is puzzling. I mean, I guess I need to talk about this more. Yeah, so okay, so we're getting somewhere. So Everett is saying create another table. Yes, we can create another table. So what kind of table do we need to create? Haha, that I guess idea is also fun. Yeah, we could create some kind of, you know, like multiple tag IDs, so tag ID 1, tag ID 2, tag ID 3, and so on. That's not a totally bad idea, but okay, that's not the optimal way. So Everett is a little bit closer, but I'm still waiting the answer. So he's saying create another table, but what kind of table and what should be in there? How another table will help us to achieve 1 to n. I think you are starting to get somewhere, so I will wait a little bit. Okay, I see tags table that joins post ID and tag ID. Not tags, yeah, right. Okay, so I got it right. Okay, so that's great. So I think at least in university, when you're learning about databases and the UMLs, this is some basic stuff should be covered, but maybe you forgot about it. But this is something that is very common. It needs to be known by default. So this is like a design pattern. It needs to be known. How if somebody asks you to do how to create the user interface, right? You know there is model view controller. What we are doing right now. There is the template, there is the controller, and then there is the model and database, right? That structure. So if you're creating mobile app, you're creating the desktop app, you're creating the web app, you always know that pattern. Also for the relational databases, this is again 1 to n pattern, very common stuff. So okay, so let's write here then. No, but I get don't put too harsh on yourself because you both together came to the answer yourself. So that's great. So tags in post, and this will be then the tags in post ID. Again, as you see, I'm not using generic ID. Again, this is something I already told you. If you use something like that, this will work, no problem at all. This is great, actually, in some cases. But in general, it always creates a large number of problems in the SQL queries. It's confusing, and also, especially, it's confusing when you have ID keyword reserved in Python as for the pointer reference. So basically, better not use ID. Better use, and also it's confusing when you, for example, try to join stuff. Now it will be super nice way how to join, because this thing is the same as here. So I just copy tag ID, right, and this will be foreign key now, and then I've just copied the post ID, and this will be also foreign key, right? So really easy stuff. So I mean, please don't use just ID, add the prefix. So this is foreign key, right? So we have this one. Then we need to add also the relationships. So let's add relationships. So to add the relationships here, we'll use the 1 to n. And this will not be the posts, this will be the tags. Tags, right? Yeah, we could actually define it through that one. Be more correct if I would write it like this. And then also this is aggregate. So this is the small diamond shape. It means that there are many. So basically I could even not add this comment, and if I see the aggregate, that means this 1 to n. So that is that. And then also, and I have a one-to-one relationship between the tags. So this tags in post and actual tags, right? Something like that. So okay, so tag. Okay, so it's actually end to end basically, but if you're looking just at one post, so one post can have only one type of tag added, then it's one to end. But it doesn't matter that much. Basically, the structure is correct. So this is our structure. This is our structure. I will drop this to the Jamboard. And this is something that you need to construct for the homework, basically. So you need to add that each post can add tags. And my idea, so that this will not be too difficult for you, is following. Please create the tags table, right? And add those tags manually in database. So don't create the interface to add tags, just create tags in database. And then in the editor page here, please use, instead of using the select box, you will have something like this. So I will try to help you out with this. So you will have the tags, and you will just have the checkboxes, tags. You can definitely make it more nice, you know, like better user interface, but let's start with checkboxes. So you'll have the checkboxes, and there will be the input, and this will be the type of checkbox, like this. And then there will be a value, and then there will be if this is checked true or not true, right? So of course right now the code is not correct here. There is a posts, right? But this will be for tag in tags, right? And then you will check if that tag is actually having there, and then you will check it or not check it, and then you will store the value. So this will be the way how this should work in the user interface. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something, remembered something, see how these structures work. It gets a little bit more complicated every session. So we'll see how you do for the next week for the homework, and then we will move on to the next topics. We will also need to cover, you know, like the file uploading, the user management structures. So there are quite a few things missing. Okay, so that's it for today. Bye bye.